What's up, Vegan Bays? This is Raina and Nashi, and we are talking to you about something that's kind of serious right now, very serious, which is the coronavirus, COVID-19. So something we want to talk to you guys about is ways that you can prepare to self-quarantine, self-isolate, or if you are actually forced at some point to be quarantined. The reality is that we have no idea where this is going to be going, and we need to be prepared for the worst. Now, that doesn't mean to start hoarding stuff, but that does mean to be prepared for potential quarantine. Now, the average quarantine has been anywhere between 14 days to some people even longer. Najee was just telling me about a story of someone being quarantined for up to 40 days. So how do we prepare for that, especially as vegans?
Yeah. So something to keep in mind, as Renee said, as vegans, it's important for us to keep the primary plant-based food groups in mind when we're going grocery shopping or trying to grab what we need to get for this time, and not just for the corona, but for any type of situation that may occur. So the main things you want to stick with is the fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, and grains. Now, a good medium or a good place to start with is to select 2 from each of those food groups. So for your veggies, you can do things such as like spinach and broccoli. So try to get like the frozen ones if you can.
Yeah, so let me show you the type of frozen veggies that we have so far. We got a lot of frozen broccoli. It's really easy to cook, and we have a lot of them, and it's easy to freeze. And then we also got okra. So I like okra, so I wanted some frozen okra. If I had to be stuck for 14 days, I'd be okay with eating okra consistently. And Najee loves broccoli, so it works.
Perfect. And as well, in addition to the veggies, the fruits that you can have. So, so this is something I want to mention, this a little bit sidetracked. So there was a little situation where they were saying, it was a little like social media back and forth about like vegan food. Somebody put up a post, actually I think it was Dr. Holistic. He put up a post saying nobody was buying foods from the frozen section, from the fresh section of produce. And like a good point of that was you can still buy those fresh fruits and fresh veggies and then just freeze them.
Which is what we do anyway, even if we're not in a state of emergency. So for example, we got a lot of bananas. So with the bananas, obviously you peel it, chop it up, and then put it in the freezer. We also got some cuties and some oranges, things like that.
Frozen mangoes.
Frozen mangoes, avocados. These are things that even though you get them fresh, I think it's great to get them fresh and then to freeze them. Now, that doesn't mean you have to freeze them today. I mean, you can have them available to you to eat fresh, but as you start seeing them kind of getting a little crazy, put them in the freezer in case you need to hold on to them.
Exactly. And so that's the veggies and then the fruits. So the other things that you want to keep in mind is you still want to get in your protein. So that's going to come from your legumes, and we have some seitan.
So yeah, the seitan is the one that we get from H Smart, like we told you. So we have a crap load of the seitan that's already frozen. Like this is frozen, just in case. They're very easy to thaw out, but we have a lot of them, so should something happen, we have them available. Now, the other thing is to be strategic with how you purchase this. Again, it does not mean to hoard them, but if I know that one of these is one meal for a grown man, and one of these is 2 meals for me, then that means I need to have at least 2 to 3 of them in a day. So I now can multiply 3 times potentially 14 or 3 times 20 and have that many here. Versus purchasing 100 of them, and I don't really need that many if I was to be quarantined.
So in addition to the seitan, some other legumes are the lentils that we have, and then beans. So these are the canned ones as well as
the dried good ones. So I was talking to Najee. He was asking why would I buy the canned ones, right? And you can just get these. So again, I probably watched one too many movies. I am a movie buff. I've seen The Walking Dead. I've seen Quarantine. I have also seen Contagion, Outbreak, all that. And I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. What if they shut off our water? What if we don't have access to the fire? Like, at least I know, worst case scenario, I even got the one that can like come up. I like Goya anyway, but at least I know for a fact, should anything go wrong, I can eat this without having to do anything to it. So we did get quite a bit of the dried ones, which we would have had anyway. But we did actually take some time to buy a few cans of this one just in case we have to get something cook and something goes wrong in our home with the water or the fire, you know, the gas or something like that.
That's a good point. So those are the legumes where we're gonna get our proteins in. We also have some grains. So right here we have the rice. This is what the quick rice.
This is like a quick rice, 90-second rice that we purchased. We also, of course, same idea. It's basically already cooked. It just needs to get hot. And then the same idea. We also have a huge bag. I'm gonna look that for them. Huge bag of the what we have is brown sweet rice. So we already had that in the house. It's a lot of it. It will last a long time past the quarantine. But we also wanted to have something that was easy and quick to make sure we need it. So those are things that we had as well.
Yeah, and then going along with that, we have some oats. So these are the quick oats. Well, actually, these are old-fashioned oats, but they all work. And then some potatoes. So some bagged potatoes right here. And again, this is just all within the grains that we have. Although potatoes are considered veggies. But these are the grains that we can have that'll last for a while.
Same with the potatoes. So potatoes can also go bad in a sense. You can easily freeze potatoes, chop them up how you want them, and then put them in a container, put them in the freezer. Other things that you can have in case it's going on a little bit longer than you planned.
Yeah. So then we can jump into the nuts and the seeds, and these are more so of the simple ones that you should always have because of the benefits, the nutrient benefits that come. So these are the chia seeds. We also got like sunflower seeds and some of the other
pumpkin seeds, things like that.
So those are important to have as well.
The other thing, I'm sorry to interrupt you, the other thing that's extremely important to have while going through a quarantine, it's probably one of the most important things that you need to have because things are going to get really serious, is wine.
Essentials.
Wine.
It's an essential.
You can't hoard the wine. I hoarded it. So I have a lot of these. That's just a little fun. But yeah, so we have some other things just because if we do get stuck here, I mean, we won't be bored. So you want to have some other things that will make your life a little bit easier. Like we have some popcorn because we might watch a lot of movies. We have the wine. We have his favorite drinks and stuff like that. Some of the guava. And like just like little simple stuff like that. This is not something we bought a lot of. This is just something, you know, in case we need it, we have it.
Yeah. So this is like a baseline of what we should use as far as the essentials that you should have. Then you can expand if you want to get like other things. Also, you need creatine. This is an essential right there.
For some reason, he can't say quarantine properly, and he kept saying creatine because he just can't get the fitness out of his head. So he keeps with this creatine joke. The other thing is this. So I want to show you guys something. We got bottled water, and we also always drink from these. Okay. So here's the thing. This is empty as you see because in our apartment complex, we have a filtered water system. You can go downstairs and get filtered water, not like just, you know, drinking water, but filtered water, and we fill these up instead of buying bottled water. So of course, we're gonna keep using that, but should we get quarantined where we can't even leave our like actual apartment building, we still have bottled water. So you want to be strategic with how you do that. So although we have bottled water, we're not drinking from the bottled water yet. We're still using the filtered water, but should something happen, we have a case of bottled water here and a case of bottled water in the car. So at least if we needed to, you know, get prepared for that quarantine, we already have these things. Unfortunately, we've been noticing every time we go to the grocery store, things are getting even more and more
snatched.
Yeah, it's getting a little crazy. And I'm actually glad that we naturally are bulk buyers anyway. So we already had a lot of toilet paper. We already had a lot of paper towels. We already had a lot of soap. I mean, we have like not too much soap. So we already had these things prior to Corona even being here. But if you didn't have that and you haven't gone out yet, now is the time. You can't even find it on Amazon. So definitely go to the grocery store. And if you have to buy things, try to buy things strategically and make sense of what you're purchasing. Don't panic buy with some sense, be strategic, understand how many bags of Hooker might you need. How much of this would feed your family typically? One bag feeds one person in your family, maybe if you have 5 people, you need to multiply 5 times the multitude of days that you might be there and purchase that and make sure that you're prepared for that. 2 people living in one home, we don't need as much as someone else, but we want to make sure that we're not in a situation where we're stuck and we have nothing to eat.
Yeah, that's a good point. And so again, just piggybacking like what Rena just said, it's the essentials that you want to grab first. Make sure that you can find like the items that you're gonna use the fastest, and then you go into like the little things that you may want. You know, make sure that you have these essentials that are, one, beneficial for your diet, so you can still stay on point with that, because that's what's most important. You want to stay healthy through the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
It's been very clear that the virus, although it might not hurt people that are healthy like us, could really harm people that are vulnerable. But if you're sick, and that, in my opinion, makes you more vulnerable, and you don't have to be COVID-19 sick. You can be any sick and then get it, and it's even worse. So let's just make sure that we're all washing our hands, creating social distancing, which is what I spoke to Najee about. I've noticed naturally people seem to just want to be close to us. I don't understand. Social distance is like, you should not be within this point of me. So yeah, so the other day I had to like literally get a woman off of his back. So it was ridiculous. So just remember, you know, if you're standing in line, like, just let people get in front, like get some space before you walk up behind them. Try to just remember not to touch your face so much, not to do things that we're used to doing that's not necessarily been a problem, but today and moving on until this shit gets taken care of, it's a problem. So let's make sure we're doing that. If you don't have hand sanitizer, then just don't touch it. You know what I mean? So, seriously.
Yeah, that's a great rule of thumb right there. Like, stop touching shit. Especially, you know, the other thing that you mentioned.
Were you talking shit? Are you being funny?
No.
I need some wine.
So something else that you mentioned. God damn, you just made me lose my train of thought.
I did it.
Yeah, it's your fault.
This will be great.
No, okay. So this was the point. So she was talking about the mask. So a lot of people were saying that the masks aren't useful. They're not going to stop you from catching the virus and such. But she brought up a good point.
I brought up a good point.
Rainer brought up a very good point where she said, although the mask may not stop the virus from getting you, it stops you from doing things to like help yourself catch it faster in a sense, or like just do things that you would normally do. So like touching your face and your mouth, your hands. Like they say, we touch.
Let that mask hit the COVID, baby.
Yeah, it's like naturally, like when we just not playing around, but doing our daily thing, we'll like do this or touch your face, whatever.
Yeah, you're really touching your face too. You don't gotta show them like that.
So the mask can prevent some of that stuff. So
Yeah. So what I was saying is that mask covers this part, right? And they say that you don't want to touch your mouth, nose, or eyes. Now, obviously, the mask isn't stopping you from touching your eyes, but it is eliminating 2 out of 3. Mm-hmm. So if you do wear a mask, I don't see the problem with it personally because you're not touching your mouth and nose anymore. If you've ever worn a mask, it's all up in there. So you just want to make sure that you're doing what's best. It's so funny, too. I just want to throw this tidbit out there. February 7th, we went to Costa Rica. And I remember us going to the airport. We had masks because Corona had just kind of like started getting crazy in China. And it was me, Najee, and 2 other people that looked like me and Najee. And no one else had masks on. No, people were coughing and all like wild. And we were just like, the hell? And we had our mask on the plane, back and forth, and didn't care. And it's so funny because today, if you look at people that are in the airports now, everyone has on masks. And it's just, try to be one of those people that's not reactive, more proactive. Be on top of your stuff. Make sure that you're good. Don't take this lightly, even if it turns out not to be anything. And
don't be too cool for school.
Even if it turns out not to be as big as it sounds like it's about to be, it's better to be prepared than not prepared. And I'd rather do too much than not enough and be safe. So.
Facts. So I hope this video helped. Hope you learned a tidbit from here. And again, this is not just specifically about the corona. This is more so about the essentials that you should have for any type of situation where something can happen, like any type of event. Like what do you call it? The creatine events.
Whenever a zombie's possibly coming, you want to make sure you got your. That reminds me. Excuse me. Let me show you what else we have in case shit gets real. Cause I got my Michonne going.
Oh God.
Let me show you.
She's dangerous. This is a dangerous human being right here.
I won't hurt you.
I don't know.
You want to make sure you have your blades ready, people. Have your blades. Because people are buying guns and shit, but let me tell you, someone tries to walk up in the store, I can just slice them real quick, you know what I'm saying?
And this is real.
Yeah, it's real.
This is not
This is a real thing. I ain't playing with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
What's that say?
What's that? Vegan booty. Vegan booty. It's real.
Yep.
is real.
All right.
All right, so that's it. That's all we got for y'all. I hope this helped. It was really great talking to you all.
Yeah, stay safe, guys. Stay at your distance, so don't come around us. But stay safe and be good. And cook your foods. We'll still be posting videos. We'll still be showing you home workouts. You know, definitely look out for our home workouts we'll be doing. Because we were just thinking about going to the gym. We're not doing it.
Yeah, so next is going to be home workout videos that you can do, you know, like I said, at home during a time where you can't make it to the gym. So
yeah, just be safe, guys.
Things like that. Peace.